I shot my daughter's husband in the knee with his own service pistol, right there, in our family kitchen, the one we'd remodeled together after her wedding, and watched the blood pool on the terracotta tiles like spilled marinara from our last Sunday dinner. She screamed that I was a monster. The same daughter who'd buried me alive in the eyes of the world for 28 years, forging my death certificate to chase her own twisted dreams of freedom. But freedom's a funny thing. It tastes like ash when the inheritance checks start bouncing back to a ghost. And now here we are, ghosts clawing at each other in the ruins of what used to be home. They say the past is a ghost that haunts you. But what if you're the ghost? What if you've spent nearly 3 decades drifting through life like smoke, invisible and aching, only to solidify when someone else needs you to bleed for them again? My name is Melanie Harper, and for 28 years, I was dead. Not in the ground. Mind you, oh no, that would have been too merciful. Dead on paper. Dead in the hearts of everyone who'd ever claimed to love me. My obituary ran in the Portland Oregonian on a drizzly Tuesday in 1997, Melanie Harper, 42, beloved mother and wife, lost to a sudden heart attack while hiking the Columbia Gorge trails she so cherished. Lies. All of it. The heart attack was real enough. Or, at least the palpitations that dropped me to my knees mid-stride, clutching at ferns wet with mist. But the lost part? That was my daughter. Sarah's masterpiece. Sarah was 19 then, fresh out of community college with stars in her eyes and a boyfriend, now husband, named Derek, who wore his Marine Corps buzz cut like a crown. She'd always been the dramatic one. My little firecracker. The girl who'd stage school plays in our cramped living room, casting the cat as the villain and me as the hapless queen. But that day on the phone, her voice cracking through the static, she didn't ask for my blessing. She demanded my erasure. "Mom, you have to do this," she'd whispered from the payphone at the Trailhead parking lot, where I'd collapsed and she'd found me. "Derek's deploying. We need the life insurance. It's clean money. No strings. You'll get a new start somewhere warm, like Florida. We'll visit. Visit." The word hung there like a noose. I'd always carried her burdens, hadn't I? Swallowed the blame when her father, my ex, bailed for a Vegas showgirl when she was 8. Forged excuses for her skipping school to chase boys. Even covered for that shoplifting bust at the mall when she was 15, took the community service hours myself, scrubbing graffiti off park benches while she partied. So why not this? Die for her future. Let the policy pay out $250,000, enough to buy them a house, a ring, a life without my shadow. I was 42, broke from nursing school loans, scraping by on waitressing tips at that greasy spoon off I-5. What future did I have? Okay, baby, I'd rasped, the world blurring at the edges. For you. The paramedics came, but Sarah handled the rest. She sweet-talked the doctors into signing off on the sudden cardiac event, greased palms with tears and tales of my fragile health. By the time I woke in a back-alley clinic, stitched up and doped on morphine, she had my new ID, Marlene Hayes, age 45, relocating to Phoenix with a one-way Greyhound ticket and a duffel of cash. Don't call, Mom. Just go. We'll handle the funeral. It'll be beautiful. Beautiful. The word echoed as the bus pulled away, Portland's rain-streaked skyline shrinking in the rearview. I didn't cry then. Crying was for the living. Phoenix was a furnace. All strip malls and saguaros that looked like they were flipping you off. I waitressed again. this time at a chain diner called Ruby Tuesday's Knockoff, slinging fajitas to snowbirds who tipped in pennies and pity. Marlene Hayes became me, dyed my ash blonde to mousy brown, traded my vintage Levi's for mom jeans from Walmart.
No photos.
No calls. No traces. Sarah sent postcards at first, settling in. Derek's so proud.
Love.
Your girl. Then nothing. Radio silence for years, broken only by a single wire transfer in 2005, $5,000. No note. For emergencies, it said in the bank's sterile font. Emergencies like rent hikes, or the time I cracked a rib falling off a ladder changing a light bulb in my one-bedroom hellhole. But ghosts get lonely. I dated a plumber named Roy once. Thought about settling. But his kids hated the mystery auntie vibe, and I couldn't stomach the lie. Instead, I read voraciously Stephen King paperbacks from the library, true crime pods on my ancient Walkman. Stories of betrayal fueled me, little fires under the ice. What had Sarah built with my death? I imagined her in that house, Derek's medals on the mantel, kids with my eyes but her fire. Did they toast me on Mother's Days? Or was I the family skeleton, locked in the attic? Then, in 2023, the letter came. Not from Sarah, but from a lawyer in Portland, Elias Crow, ESQ, of Crow and Associates. Stiff cream envelope, embossed seal, postmarked from the city I'd fled. Dear MS.
Harper,
Hayes, regarding the estate of your late aunt, Evelyn Whitaker, as sole beneficiary under her 1996 will, updated in 2018, you stand to inherit $8.2 million upon probate closure. My hands shook so bad I dropped the envelope in a puddle outside my apartment complex, the ink bleeding like accusations. Aunt Evelyn, Sarah's great-aunt. Really? The one who'd cut me out after Dad's affair but softened in her dotage, mailing birthday cards with 20s tucked inside. I'd written her off as another ghost, but apparently, she'd been watching from her gated condo in Palm Springs, piecing together my disappearance through grapevine whispers. For Melanie, her codicil read, the only one who ever told me the truth about that bastard brother of mine. $8.2 million. Enough to buy back a life. Or burn one down. I cashed out my meager savings, bought a burner phone, and dialed the number from memory. Sarah picked up on the third ring, her voice polished now, like she'd traded Oregon rain for California gloss. Harper residence. I didn't speak at first, just breathed, letting the static carry 28 years. Mom, a pause, then a gasp. Holy shit. Mom, is that?
How?
We met in neutral territory, a Starbucks in Reno, Nevada, halfway between her manicured suburb in San Diego and my sun-baked anonymity. She arrived first, fidgeting in a Tesla that screamed new money, her hair in that sleek bob I'd seen on influencers, yoga pants hugging legs that hadn't borne the weight of waitressing shifts. 47 now, but she looked 35, Botox smooth and golden.
Me?
I was 69 going on ancient, wrinkles etched like fault lines, liver spots from too many desert suns. I wore sunglasses and a scarf, but she spotted me anyway, those eyes. Mirror images, locking on like heat-seeking missiles. She hugged me then, fierce and frantic, babbling apologies over lattes. I didn't know about the aunt, God.
Mom.
If I'd known. We needed the money so bad. Derek was shipping out to Iraq, and I was pregnant with Lily. It was one time.
I swear.
Just to get us straight. Lies layered on lies. But I let her spill. The house in La Jolla. The private school for the kids, Lily. Now 22. Studying marine bio at UCLA, Jake. 19. Football star at SDSU. Derek's promotion to sergeant major. His pension. Their annual trips to Maui. We're good now.
Mom.
Really good. But when the lawyer called about the inheritance, they thought I was you.
Or.
Wait. No, they had your real name. But the record said you were dead. It was chaos. I had to explain. And now probate's frozen because you're
Alive. Alive.
The word tasted like bile. She wanted in on the windfall. Of course. We could fix this. Get you a real place.
Not that.
Whatever you're in. Family reunion.
Proper.
The kids would love to meet their grandma.
Grandma.
The fantasy bloomed in her eyes. Dollar signs twinkling like Christmas lights. But under it, the old Sarah, the schemer who'd once convinced me to co-sign a car loan she totaled in a week. I nodded.
Smiled.
Played the prodigal. Let me think on it, baby. It's a lot. Back in Phoenix, I hired a PI. Cash only. A grizzled ex-cop named Vic who chain-smoked camels and didn't ask questions. Dig deep, I told him. Everything. The report landed a week later. A manila folder thick as a Bible. Sarah's life. Picture perfect on Instagram. But cracked underneath. Derek's VA records showed PTSD flares. Bar fights. A DUI hushed up with daddy's, my insurance money. Lily's eating disorder. Hidden behind sorority smiles. Jake's juvie stint for boosting a Beamer. Expunged with a donation to the judge's campaign. And Sarah, the queen bee, flipping real estate on the side. But whispers of insider tips. A whistleblower suit from a jilted partner claiming she betted clients for deals. The betrayal wasn't just my death, it was a foundation. Rotten through. Built on my corpse. But the real gut punch? That 2005 transfer? Not emergency cash. A payoff. Vic's notes. Subject's husband involved in friendly fire incident. Fallujah. 2004. 2 Marines Kia. Official report. Enemy ambush. But logs show discrepancies. Witness statements suppressed. Insurance claim filed posthumously on M. Harper's policy-covered settlement to families. $5,000 wired to anonymous account traced to S. Harper's control. Derek hadn't just deployed. He'd pulled the trigger, wrong HUD, wrong shadows, and Sarah had buried it, using my death to fund the silence. I'd carried that too, unknowing, my ghost money greasing palms to keep her prince from prison. Rage doesn't come hot, like in the movies. It simmers, cold and viscous, pooling in your veins until you're a vessel for it. I drove west that night, the inheritance check burning a hole in my glove box, plotting. Revenge isn't a sprint, it's a marathon, laced with thorns. And mine would start with a homecoming no one saw coming. Reno faded in the rearview as I pushed the rental Chevy toward San Diego. The desert giving way to coastal sprawl like a bad facelift. Too much Botox. Not enough soul. I'd told Sarah I'd need time. But time was the one luxury I'd never had. Not in 28 years of half-lives. No. This was reconnaissance. The kind that sticks in your craw like bad diner coffee. Vic's report was my roadmap. But the real terrain? That lay in the lies people tell themselves to sleep at night. I checked into a Motel 6 off the 5, the kind with flickering vacancy signs and roaches that scatter like guilty secrets. From there, I watched. Sarah's house was a McMansion in La Jolla Shores, white stucco and terracotta roof screaming we made it, ocean view teasing infinity from the deck. Binoculars from the hill behind brought it close, Derek grilling burgers in fatigues. Even off-duty, Lily scrolling TikTok by the pool, her ribs sharp under a bikini top, Jake tossing a football with neighborhood bros. All gelled hair and entitlement. And Sarah, flitting like a hummingbird, yoga at dawn, open houses by noon, wine with the girls at dusk. Picture perfect. Toxic as antifreeze. On day 3, I made contact. Not at the door. That's for amateurs. I bumped into her at the Whole Foods in Del Mar, organic kale in hand, playing the wide-eyed wanderer. Sarah? Oh my God. Is that you? She froze in the produce aisle, cart loaded with artisanal cheeses and heirloom tomatoes. Recognition hit like a slap. Then that megawatt smile.
Mom.
What are you, here?
Now.
Hugs again. Tighter this time. Her perfume, Chanel no.
5. My old scent cloying.
Oversized smoothies at the cafe. She pried gently. Decided on the money? We could set up a trust. Keep it in the family. Family. There it was. The hook. I reeled her in slow. Told her about Phoenix, the dead-end jobs, the string of bad men, the cancer scare in 2015 that ate my savings. Lies wrapped in half-truths. Enough to make her eyes well up. I should have been there, she murmured, squeezing my hand. But you understand why.
Right?
It was survival. Survival. The word she'd weaponized since she was a kid. Dodging chores with I'm stressed, or skipping curfew with I needed space. I nodded. The good ghost. Water under the bridge. Baby. But the inheritance. It's complicated. Taxes. Lawyers. Maybe I come stay a bit? Get to know the grandkids proper? She lit up like I'd handed her the keys to the kingdom.
Yes. God. Yes.
The guest room's yours. Derek'll grill you us steaks. The kids. They'll be thrilled. Thrilled. I doubted it. But doors opened, and I slipped through. The house smelled of lemon polish and privilege, every surface gleaming like it was auditioning for a catalog. Derek shook my hand firm, calluses from the core rough against my papery skin.
Ma'am.
Hurt a lot. His eyes were flat, assessing, hunter's gaze. Lily air-kissed my cheek. All Nana Marlene? Cute. Before vanishing to her room. Earbuds in. Jake grunted from the couch, Xbox controller in fist, pausing only to eye my thrift store purse like it offended him. Sarah narrated the tour. Kitchen with a sub-zero fridge. Home gym, overlooking the surf. Her office stacked with comps and a MacBook glowing with Zillow listings. That night, over ribeyes charred just right. The questions came. Sarah steered. Mom's been through hell.
Guys.
Lost everything after.
Well.
You know. They didn't. The kids exchanged glances. Lily's curious. Jake's bored. Derek chewed slow. Knife scraping plate. After what? Exactly? Silence thickened like fog off the Pacific. Sarah flushed. Shot me a plea. I took the bullet. Voice steady. After my heart gave out. Thought I was a goner.
But.
Miracle recovery. Doctors kept it quiet, experimental treatment. Didn't want the press. Lies flowed easy now. Lubricated by Chianti. Lily cooed sympathy. Jake shrugged. Derek's jaw ticked, but he let it slide.
For now.
Settling in was a tightrope. I played the doting grandma, baking Sarah's childhood snickerdoodles, burn edges and all. Quizzing Lily on her thesis. Cheering Jake's pickup games from the sidelines. But at night, in the guest room with its generic seascapes and memory foam bed, I plotted. Vic fed me updates. Derek's latest flare-up. A bar brawl in Oceanside where he'd swung at a vet calling him coward. Sarah's deals, shady flips in National City. Buyers from sketchy LLCs. Whispers of money laundering through her investment club. And the kids? Lily's sorority hazing videos leaked online. Pledges chanting slurs. Jake's text to a dealer. Oxy for party favors. The betrayal deepened with every unearthed thread. Sarah hadn't just used my death for insurance, she'd leveraged it. In 2008, when the housing crash hit, she'd filed for widow's benefits under a fabricated story, Derek injured in a training accident, tying back to my policy for extra claims. They'd bought the house with it. The one I slept in now. My ghost paid the mortgage. And the Fallujah cover-up? Emails Vic hacked showed Sarah coaching Derek through his testimony, scripting alibis while nursing newborn Lily. She'd borne no mistake. I'd carried them all. From playground scrapes to war crimes. But the real venom? A locked drawer in Sarah's office. I picked it one midnight. Insomnia my ally. Heart pounding like that trailhead day. Inside, my obituary. Yellowed. A lock of my hair from her baby book. And a journal. Entries in her looping script. Mom's gone. Feels wrong. But right. She was holding me back, always the martyr. Now we're free. Later, Derek's hands shake at night. I tell him it's the desert, but I know. If they dig, it traces to her money.
Keep smiling.
And the kicker, dated last month, inheritance glitch. If she shows, play nice. Cut her in, then cut her out. What's hers was always mine. I closed the drawer soft, rage crystallizing. She wasn't just betraying me anew, she was erasing me again. Inheritance be damned. But I had the will. The probate docs stashed in my rental car. $8.2 million. Clean and mine. Time to flip the board. The next morning, I suggested family therapy. For closure, I said over breakfast smoothies. Sarah blinked. Wary. But Derek grunted approval. Could help with the dreams. We booked Dr. Lena Voss. A no-nonsense shrink in a La Jolla high-rise. All leather chairs and abstract art that screamed, pay me to unpack your daddy issues. First session. We sat in a circle. Air thick with unspoken rot. Sarah started. Mom's return. It's a gift. But painful.
Lies.
I waited my turn, voice quavering just right. I forgave the death thing. For you. But learning about Fallujah. Derek's incident. The cover-up. It breaks me. Derek's head snapped up. Face ashen. What the fuck? Sarah shushed him. Eyes daggers at me. Lily gasped. Jake smirked, sensing blood. Dr. Voss leaned in. Unpack that. Melanie. So I did. Vic's report. The suppressed logs. The $5,000 hush money from my corpse cache. Not all of it. Just enough to crack the facade. Derek bolted mid-session, slamming the door. Sarah chased. leaving me with the kid's wide eyes and the therapist's arched brow.
That's
Heavy, Voss said. But truth is the first step.
truth.
A weapon, sharp as a shiv. That night, the house fractured. Derek slept in the garage. Shotgun within reach. Old habits. Sarah cornered me in the kitchen. You had no right. That was buried. Buried. Like me. I met her gaze. Calm as Pacific glass. So was I. Difference is, I'm back. By week's end. Fisher's spread. Lily confided over wine coolers. Dad's not the hero Mom says. He hits things, Walls. Mostly. After the news about Iraq, Jake, buzzed on cheap beer, admitted, Mom's deals? Shady as hell. I drove the cash once. Felt wrong. Seeds planted. Doubts watered. Sarah countered with charm offensives, spa days. Beach walks, but the rot showed. Derek's stares turned feral. Sarah's smiles brittle. Then the first strike. I accidentally forwarded the probate notice to the family email. Oops. Fat fingers on the iPad Sarah gifted me. $8.2 million. Beneficiary, Melanie Harper, a.k.a. Marlene Hayes. Legally alive. CC'd the lawyer.
Crow.
Panic rippled. Calls to attorneys. Sarah hissing into her phone about fixing the records. But Crow was ironclad. Evelyn's will specify blood. Not ghosts. Mine. Revenge tasted sweet then, like the salt on my tongue from the sea air. But it was just the appetizer. The main course? Tearing down the empire built on my bones. You ever watch a sandcastle crumble under the tide? Slow at first. Edges softening. Then a rush. Whole thing gone in a froth of foam and regret. That's how it went with the Harpers. My Harpers. The family I'd resurrected myself for. Only to drown them in the undertow. San Diego's summer heat wave hit like Judgment Day. Air thick and unrelenting. Mirroring the sweat beading on Derek's brow as he paced the deck. Nursing a cores and a grudge. We'd hit the 1-month mark of my visit, and the house felt like a pressure cooker. Valves hissing lies and accusations. Sarah was the architect. Always had been blueprints in her brain. Drafting escapes before the walls even went up.
But now?
She was fraying. Botox be damned. Mornings, she'd blast Peloton classes in the living room, punishing the bike like it owed her money, while I sipped coffee on the lanai, eavesdropping through the sliders. We need her signature. Elias. On the addendum, family trust. She's family. For Christ's sake. Crow's voice tinny on speaker. Not without her consent.
Sarah.
And those discrepancies in the original policy. The insurance company sniffing around. Your mother's revival pokes holes.
Click.
She'd hurl a water bottle. Plastic cracking against tile. Then spot me and paste on the smile. Morning.
Mom.
Sleep okay?
No.
Sleep was for the innocent. I'd lie awake, replaying the journal entries, the way her script curled like barbed wire. What's hers was always mine. Possession, not love. But I played along, the dutiful specter, folding laundry with Lily, whispering about body positivity between folds, driving Jake to practice, slipping him 20s with don't tell your mom, winks that bought loyalty. Derek avoided me outright, holing up in his man cave workshop, chainsaw whirring as he sculpted driftwood into abstract remembrances of the core. Once, I caught him staring at an old photo, him and Sarah's wedding.
Me in the background.
Beaming like a fool. His fist clenched, the frame shattered. The climax brewed in fragments, like a storm front rolling in off the Channel Islands. It started with a call from Vic. Your girl's in deep. That National City flip? Feds are circling. Wire fraud. Straw buyers from TJ. And Derek? VA's reopening Fallujah file. Anonymous tip.
Me?
Of course. A letter to the IG. Postmarked Phoenix. Details from the report. Let the truth breathe, I'd written. Sarah got wind via her realtor network. Gossip travels faster than light in SoCal. She confronted me that evening. Kids at study group, Derek at AA. Kitchen island between us. Granite cool under my palms. You did this, she hissed. Phone clutched like a grenade.
The tip.
The trust block. You're poisoning them against me. Her eyes, my eyes, flashed with that old fire. The one that burned bridges before crossing. I didn't flinch. Poison? Baby. That's your recipe. Fallujah blood on Derek's hands. Your deal's laundering cartel cash. I carried your sins once. Not again. She laughed, bitter as burnt toast. Sins?
Mom.
Wake up. This is America, survival of the slickest. You died for me. Remember? That makes you complicit. Complicit. The word landed like a gut punch. Because damn if she wasn't right. I'd signed the death away. Boarded that bus. Let the insurance flow. For her. Always for her. But the journal burned in my mind. The erasure planned anew. That inheritance? It's mine.
Sarah.
Evelyn saw through the bullshit. Knew I was the only honest one in this snake pit. She stepped closer. Voice dropping to a venomous whisper. Then sign it over. Or I tell them everything. The real everything. The bluff hung there. Electric. I called it. Tell them. Tell Lily her dad's a murderer. Jake his mom's a crook. See how that sandcastle holds. Her face crumpled then, not tears, but calculation cracking. She lunged, not for blows, but for the iPad on the counter, my lifeline to Crow. I snatched it first, screen locking with a passcode she didn't know. Struggle brief. Her nails raking my arm, drawing beads of blood that welled like accusations. Then Derek's truck rumbled in the drive, headlights sweeping the room like searchlights. He burst in, reeking of meeting coffee and rage. What the hell's going on? Sarah spun the tale. Mom's losing it, attacked me over money. Derek's eyes flicked to the scratches.
Then me?
Unblinking. That true? Marlene.
Not Mom.
The dismissal stung. I met his stare, calm as a loaded chamber. Ask her about the drawer.
Derek.
The one with my hair and your war secrets. He froze. Color draining. Sarah stammered. But he was on her. Voice low thunder. You kept that shit? After I told you to burn it. The dam broke. Shouting match epic. Derek hurling accusations of betrayal. Sarah countering with his infidelities. Oh yes. Vic had those too, strip clubs in Pendleton. A love child in Tacoma. Plates shattered. A vase from their honeymoon exploded against the wall. Lily and Jake piled in from the back door. Faces pale masks. What the fuck?
Dad.
Jake yelled. Phone out. Live streaming the carnage. Lily sobbed.
Stop.
This is insane. I stood back. The eye of the hurricane. Watching the winds whip their world to shreds. Controversial? Hell yes. Part of me cheered, the justice, the unraveling. But another whispered shame. Was this revenge? Or just spite? Mothers don't destroy, they mend. Except when they've been buried alive. By dawn, fault lines solidified. Derek packed a bag, crashing at a buddy's in Miramar. Sarah barricaded in the master, popping Xanax like tic-tacs. The kids scattered, Lily to a friend's, Jake to his truck, peeling out with squealing tires.
Me?
I brewed coffee, black as sin, and waited for the fallout. It came via text from Crow, probate accelerated. Funds wire tomorrow. Pending your affidavit. Stay safe.
Safe.
A joke. Sarah emerged at noon,
Hollow-eyed.
makeup a war paint smear. Truce, she croaked, extending an olive branch, a mimosa, heavy on the bubbly. We sat on the deck, waves crashing below like applause for the damned. I was wrong, she admitted, voice raw. About everything. The death. The secrets.
But Mom.
I love you. Let me fix it. We fix it together. The flip, her specialty. From foe to ally in a breath. Mumu cunning wrapped in vulnerability. Part of me wanted to believe. To hug her like that rainy Portland day. Forgive the girl who'd needed her mom once. But the journal echoed. Cut her out. Together, I echoed. Clinking glasses. Start with the truth.
Call the lawyer.
Confess the fraud. Her smile faltered, but she nodded. Okay. For us.
Lies.
But I let it ride. That afternoon, as she napped, I rifled her phone, passcode her wedding date. Sentimental fool. Text to a burner. She's cracking the deal. Need extraction plan. $2 million split? To whom? A contact labeled Viper. Her realtor partner. The whistleblower's ex. The laundering web. Spun wider than Vic knew. Evening brought the kids home. Shell-shocked. Family meeting. Sarah's idea. Circle time. No filters. She owned the insurance scam. Tear-streaked confession. Grandma's sacrifice for us. I was selfish. Gasps. Hugs. A fragile thaw. Derek even showed. Sullen but present. Grunting sorry over takeout tie. I wove in my piece, the cover-up knowledge. The pain of silence. We all carried weights, I said. Time to drop them.
Nods.
Murmurs. Unity. Illusionary as sea glass. But under the table, my foot tapped Morse. Danger close. That night, Viper called, overheard through the wall. Inheritance hits tomorrow. Take her out clean, accident, like the first time. Sarah's reply, no. Changed plans. We split it 3 ways. She's in.
Pause.
Or I walk. The flip again, betraying her betrayer for me? Or buying time, sleep evaded. At 3 a.m., the kitchen called. I patted down, seeking water, but found Derek instead. Pistol on the counter, his service piece, cleaned and loaded. He didn't hear me at first. Back turned, scribbling a note. Sarah, can't live with the lies. Or without.
Forgive.
Suicide note? Or something darker. Our eyes met in the window's reflection. His widening in surprise. What happened next split the dawn like lightning. I grabbed the gun, instinct, or fate, and he lunged. Struggles silent. Brutal, elbows.
Knees.
the tiles slick with spilled whiskey. He was stronger, but age had made me wiry.
Desperate.
The shot cracked, muffled by the island, his knee exploding in a spray of fabric and finality. He crumpled, howling, blood sheeting the floor. Sarah burst in, screaming, "Mom, what did you do?" The monster mask slipped on. Perfect fit. Cops came quiet. Family disturbance. Off books at first. Derek airlifted to Sharp Memorial. Knee shattered. Career ended. Sarah's statement. It was self-defense. He was suicidal. Armed. Mind-matched. Tearful. But the kids? Lily's livestream clip went viral. Harper family meltdown trending. Armchair therapists dissecting the ghost mom angle. Jake. Loyal to the last. Lawyered up for me. Sarah visited the hospital. Returned hollow. He's stable. Blames me. We sat in the wreckage. Hazmat-suited cleaners mopping my shot. Why? Mom, she whispered. To save him, I lied. Truth? To cripple the pillar. Watch the roof cave. Controversial call, hero or villain. Even I couldn't say. Funds wired at noon, $8.2 million.
Mine.
I transferred $1 million to an offshore for the kids' tuition. Anonymous donor. The rest? Fuel for the fire. Vipers next. A meeting at the diner overlook. Cliffs dropping to the surf. Sarah begged off. Stay with Derek. But I knew. Tailing her in the rental. Heart hammering. She met him at dusk, tall. Slick. Tattoo peeking from cuff. Words heated. Gestures wild. Then the shove, her, not him, over the edge. Viper tumbled. Silent scream cut by rocks below. Sarah stared, then fled. I watched from shadows. Phone recording. The twist. She hadn't flipped for me. For the money. Viper dead. Her cut secured. But cameras caught her plate. Cops would come. And me, the ghost with the proof. The sirens wailed like banshees as I tailed Sarah home from the cliffs. The rental's engine a low growl under the coastal wind. Viper's body sprawled on the rocks below like a discarded prop from a noir flick, twisted. Final. The Pacific licking at his edges with indifferent foam. Sarah drove erratic. Tesla swerving lanes. Her hands white-knuckled on the wheel. She'd done it clean. No witnesses but the gulls and me. The ghost in the machine. But clean in America? That's a myth. Peddled by politicians and prayer. Cameras don't lie. Plates ping towers. By midnight, her phone would light up with the law's cold hello. I pulled into the drive behind her. Lights off. The house dark except for the guest room lamp I'd left burning. Beacon for the damned. She stumbled in. Mascara rivers. Kicking off Louboutins that clicked like castanets on the foyer tile. Mom, voice small. The girls again. Not the queen. I met her in the kitchen. The same blood-stained stage from Derek's kneecapping. Now scoured sterile. What happened? Baby, I asked. Soft as a lullaby. Pouring chamomile from the kettle I'd set pre-cliffside. She collapsed at the island. Words tumbling like dice.
He.
Viper Mark. He wanted it all. The inheritance split. But after Derek. He said we'd take you out next. Like you. 28 years ago. Her eyes searched mine. Pleading absolution. I pushed him. Just to stop the threats. It was self-defense.
Mom.
Like with Dad, no. Derek. Flip again. her chameleon skin shedding. From partner to patsy, now victim. I nodded, stroking her hair silky still, like when she'd braid mine on school sick days. I know, sweetheart. I saw. The confession hung, heavy as fog. She didn't ask how, just clung, sobbing into my shoulder. I did it for us. The family. After everything you gave. I couldn't lose you again. Lies. Layered thick. But cracked enough to glimpse the core. Survival. Always hers. The journal's echo cut her out. But who'd wielded the knife this time? Viper for the cash. Or Sarah for the clean slate?
Me?
I'd lit the fuse. My shots, literal and figurative, igniting the chain. Dawn brought the knock. 2 detectives. Crisp suits and condolences. MS. Harper? Routine follow-up on the domestic.
And.
An incident at Torrey Pines, Overlook. Sarah played Oscar-worthy. Shock. Tears. The works. Mark? Oh God. No. They bought it provisional. Witness statements pending. But her alibis checked. Home with mom. Post-shooting vigil.
Me.
The corroborator. Voice steady. She was here. Broken up over her husband. Derek. From his hospital bed via video. Yeah. Wife's innocent. Loyalty. Or leverage. His knee throbbed eternal reminder. He chained to her sinking ship. The kids rallied fractured. Lily flew back from UCLA. Hugging Sarah fierce. We got this. Mom. Jake skipped classes. Handling calls to the family lawyer, not Crow, but a shark from downtown. Fees I'd anonymously cover. Social media storm raged, ghost grandma trending. Podcasts dissecting my return as Munchausen by proxy. Or feminist revenge porn. Comments split the mob. Melanie's a badass, exposing the lies, versus toxic matriarch. Ruining lives for spite. Controversy. My unintended gift. No heroes. Just humans clawing from the muck. But the real twist coiled in the will's fine print. Revealed over coffee that second morning. Crow emailed. Evelyn's codicil, contingent on reconciliation. To Melanie. If she forgives the blood that bound her.
Blood. Sarah.
The aunt had known. Whispers of the faked death reaching Palm Springs via family busybodies. Forgiveness? A clause with teeth. Renounce claims of fraud. Or forfeit half to charity. Victims of military malfeasance. Falugus ghosts. Paid from my grave. Sarah caught the draft over my shoulder. Face paling. What does that mean? I explained slow. Watching comprehension dawn. Means I forgive you. Or the money guts Derek's cover-up fund. Pays the families he orphaned. Her breath hitched. Calculation flickering. Then forgive. For us.
Us.
The word weaponized anew. But her eyes, hungry. If I signed, she stayed in the will's shadow, whispering influence. If not, the empire crumbled, but so did the sins. The decision tore like Velcro. Part of me yearned for the pyre. Let the cash flow to those Marines' widows. Derek's metals melt to slag. Sarah's flips freeze in foreclosure. Justice. Raw and American. I for the blinded. But the mother in me, the one who'd boarded that bus, she saw the girl. Firecracker Sarah. Deserving a shot at redemption. Controversial to the core. Forgive the unforgivable. Or burn it biblical. We drove to Crow's office that afternoon. San Diego's sprawl blurring past, palm trees like exclamation points. Billboards hawking lawsuits like candy. Sarah chattered nervous. Hand on my knee. This fixes everything. New start for all of us. Derek waited in the lobby, crutch-bound, nodding grim. The kids flanked, a mismatched guard. In the oak-paneled conference room, papers spread like a peace treaty. Crow, silver-haired and sharp, outlined. Signed here. Melanie. Affidavit of forgiveness. Renunciation of claims. Funds dispersed full. Pen hovered. Sarah's breath held. The room pulsed, waves audible through the window. Eternal churn. I signed. Not for her, not wholly. For the ghost I'd been, tired of drifting, ready to anchor. But with a twist. My own, a postscript, notarized separate. Half the $8.2 million, $4.1, wired to a trust for Lily and Jake. Irrevocable. Education and starter homes only. No access for parents. The rest? Mine to wield. $2 million to Fallujah families. Anonymous through a vet's org. And $2.10? For us, Sarah. Derek.
Me.
A down payment on a ranch in Oregon. Back near the gorge. Full circle. Sarah's face, relief. Then greed shadow when Crow read the splits.
Mom.
Why? I smiled. First real one in decades. Because forgiveness isn't free. It's a loan with interest. Derek grunted approval. The kids beamed. Futures secured. But Sarah? Her flip faltered. Eyes narrowing. You planned this. Accusation. But laced with awe. Weeks blurred. Derek's rehab. Grueling PT sessions where I pushed his chair. Whispering, earn it. Sarah's deals audited. Clean ones salvaged. Shady ones severed. Viper's ghost haunting the books. We packed the McMansion. Shipping south to the ranch. 20 acres of furs and rain. A fixer-upper with a wraparound porch for snickerdoodle Sundays. Lily visited weekends. Thesis blooming. Jake enrolled at community college. Football scholarship pending. Ending? Not happy. Not tragic, just American. Messy as a diner hash brown. Sarah and I, we talked real now. Late nights by the wood stove. Unpacking the journal. The bus ride. The shove. I hated you for leaving, she admitted once. Bourbon warming her words. But I left you first.
Truth.
Bitter bomb. Derek carved a sign for the gate. Harper Haven, ironic. Earned.
Me?
Melanie Harper. Alive and aching. The $8.2 million bought land. Not peace. But it's a start. Ghosts don't haunt if you invite them in. And revenge? It simmers down to reckoning. Yours. Theirs.
Ours. Who's right?
Who's wrong?
Pour a drink.
Debate it. That's the American way. As for Viper's accident, closed as suicide, note forged from his phone. Debts too deep. Sarah's secret. My insurance. We all carry weights. Some lighter now. Fade to rain on the gorge trails. Not lost this time.
Found.